I have learnt my lesson. Welcome to the second round of the Formula 2 Championship in ARL. We are going to witness the full one-shot qualifying here ahead of the second round of 11 here at the home of British Motorsport, Silverstone. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to witness a race around here today. As always, we can't at the moment in the UK, so, you know, even virtually, the virtual Grand Prix are coming back. We have the action continuing. This weekend, it is, of course, a Thursday night, and it all starts here. Season opener at Bahrain for the Formula 1 tiers this week, but we're ahead of the game here in F2. It was a really good first round, actually, and yeah, the feature race won by Jack, the sprint race won by Jack. Jack also took both fastest laps and the pole position point, so he left the first round with the maximum available 48 points, 22 ahead of Pluto in second with 26, and then Gogglesaw in third with 22, a strong start from him. And then Explode Tax, Big Chunga, Such J, Bennett, the top 8 there. And we are already underway for one-shot qualifying. This is going to mix and match quite a lot, so do keep your eyes peeled for whoever you're rooting on today. Put some telemetry on. 19 drivers filled up. I think Big Chungus, or Chungus Goat as he's now called, committing to starting at the back. At the moment it's FRA LMG. He was Speedy Midget just last week, so there you go. If you're confused, we do have some game tag changes, of course. He still leads through Luffield. Jack down in 6th. Of course, a name that is going to be mentioned quite a lot. The high techs then, 1 and 2 into Cop's Corner. It is regular, but it's always encouraged. That's a good line. That's perfectly acceptable. Gogglesaw still in 3rd. He's done a lot of practice today. We're on board with the provisional pole leader. Gogglesaw now into 2nd. That's grass for FRA LMG, and that might lose him time down the straight. So still some position trading, but it looks like FRA LMG has it in the bag. He's got to negotiate the Vale chicane and then Club Corner to complete the lap. Is it going to be pole position? It is, by well over a 10th. It's much bigger margin compared to last week, and that is pole sealed, signed and delivered for LMG on his first full week as an FRA driver. High Tech 1-2 then, 4 points for LMG. Pluto 3rd ahead of Jack. Wow, huge gap between 2nd and 3rd. Then Bennett, Gogglesaw, Callum, Matty Moo just 2,000th behind Callum. GSR Luke, Super Warman in the top 10. Then Tax outside the top 10. Then Florian, Tommy Karate, Communist. The gaps get bigger, and it's rounded off by PFL Solberg, 4/10ths behind the pole sitter. I will get the chat up because, of course, who doesn't love some predictions while we have the formation lap? If any of you did miss the first race, it is on the new ARL YouTube. It is there. I know there were some issues last week and I had to do it on my personal Twitch, but it's ended up in the same place as it otherwise would, so overall not too much of a big deal. We've got 30 seconds until the formation lap. Get your predictions in. Jack is going to be coming through from 4th place. Hello, Jarv. I do see you. It is just me. Yeah, sad, but should have Fruity for next week. I mean, his microphone's being delayed like every day. We've got 15 laps then for the British Grand Prix sprint race. Hopefully I can get off board because it's not exactly what I want to do. Atlantis joins. Okay. Didn't realise he was going to be racing. Thought it might have been a joke, and I thought he might not have been allowed. But Atlantis in the Uni Virtuosi is going to be joining us, giving us a 20-car grid. Is my right bumper not working, or can I genuinely not switch camera angle? There we go. Get the full track map up as well, so we can observe where everyone is. So then, drivers you certainly want to be looking out for today. Well, of course, X-Below finished on the podium last week, and a feature race seems to be his strength. Didn't have it easy in the sprint, of course. So, I'm sure he's going to be one to look out for. Chasing down his teammate, who definitely felt the heat from last week, because a few spins dented his race, dented his early championship hopes. Does like these new machines to the game, so certainly the high techs are going to be at war today. Of course, Chungus starting from 19th, he was making a lot of progress. Finished 4th in the end of last week's feature race, and the alternate strategy worked out for him. Strategy today, look at that, everyone on the hard compound tyre except GSR Pluto. So there's an immediate one to watch with Pluto. Queuing up then, 2 disqualified drivers were Communist and PFL Solberg. Thank you all for tuning in then. It's the British Grand Prix at Silverstone in the ARL F2 series. Lights are coming on very shortly. Get the telemetry up because the revs are always the most reliable. Waiting patiently. Yes, here we go then. Lights out and away we go at Silverstone. Good start from LMG. X-Below. Oh, he tries to cover him off. Thought he might have got ahead for a second, but what a start from Gogglesaw there in the background into turn 1. Oh, that's a Prema running wide. Side by side between Pluto and X-Below. Pluto on the soft tyres getting a lightning quick start. I'm sorry, it wasn't a Prema, it was a Trident, my bad. Jack remains in 4th, and now in the background that is a Carlin off, and that might be Communist. Luke's dropping positions as well. Super Warman in the background. Mai was off the back of the pack. It's chaos here in the midfield. Matty Mumu running wide. Side by side with Bennett. Communist still there in the middle. Ooh, 2 McLaren Tier 3 drivers from last season. Bennett is going to back off from Utah Elephant as he runs wide, but ultimately loses time. Jack is up into 3rd. Gogglesaw on the back of the pack as well, slightly missing the apex, as is Callum in the ART. Bennett back on Utah Elephant. The battle resumes then for 10th place. It's worth a point in the feature race. If you don't know, it'd be worth none in the sprint. Really getting the power down nice and early, Bennett. Using that to his advantage. Could make a move here into Vale. Commits down the inside. Should see that move completed. And there we go. Oh, and Utah Elephant squirming for grip. Communist up his inside. Utah Elephant running wide. Very wide, in fact. Rejoins alongside PFL Solberg, who qualified last of the... I should say second last of the 19. He's now ahead and making good progress. Up the inside, Aaron Ocon. Oh, he's gone in deep. He's made contact with Utah Elephant and spun him. Collects Tommy Karate on the way through as well, who is also around. Oh, and there's also Chungus. Yeah, Chungus is off as well. might have escaped without damage. It didn't look like there was too much contact with the front wing. There's Goggle Saw giving Expelo a push through there. And now he's under pressure from Callum, using all of the inside of the track there. Goggle Saw defends, squeezes Callum to the outside. Is this going to be a move? Not quite, but he gets a small cutback, carrying the overspeed into Maggots. Looks more confident through the apexes, but just collecting some grass, and that has slowed him down, so that declines any chance of a move into Stowe. Now tax on Matti Mumu. This could be a move into Stowe. The effective slipstream working wonders for him, and in the Campos, overtaking Matti Mumu. Better start for Matti this time. Was around at the back of the grid, and this is a battle. Warman, Chungus, and Aranok on there in the background as well. The order stays the same, but no! That is Chungus diving up the inside of the ART. That is Super Warman losing control and having to collect it. It might have looked a bit more dramatic with the cross-continental lag, if you like, but who cares? This is Matti Mumu. DRS is enabled on this lap. That was Luke on Communist, pulling away a full second. Chungus as well on Utah Elephant, using a lot of that outside curb, which you don't often see unless there's a battle. That is surely Utah Elephant with wing damage. And yeah, on the right hand side, that is a damaged front wing. And any sort of damage in these F2 cars, especially on a fixed setup, is quite catastrophic, to be honest. Matti Mumu back ahead of Tax. Bennett pressuring as well. On lap 3 of 15. It's not quite going to make a move. Tax uses a lot of the inside there. Bennett ran wide. For the lead then, GSR Pluto has finally brought down that gap. And will look to go for a move on his McLaren teammate. They're not teammates in this series, of course, but nonetheless, there should be a great deal of respect on track and how they expect McLaren to race. But his softs will start to die out soon. He'll be forced onto the hard tyre. That was the fastest lap, but it's quickly stolen away by Jack as this leading pack condenses slightly. Turbo flutters in the distance as the pack make their way through the first sector. Small DRS train starting to form then. Jack really closing in now. His pace has started to show, but deep goes Pluto slightly. That gives Jack a sniff, but picks up some gravel, and therefore it doesn't give him a sniff. Pretty self-explanatory to what happened there. That's Expelo in the background. That is Gogglesaw and Callum in the background as well. So all within a fight if something goes wrong in this front train. Question is, has Expelo got DRS? No, he doesn't. He was hovering about a second. He's going to lose some time. This leading pack gets closer. And the pressure is on for LMG. Pluto is coming into the pits at the end of lap 3. He has gone for the hard tyres already. And will start to build up that undercut. We'll get onto the fresh hards. He's on the same compound as everyone else. Aranok on his pit onto softs. Right, that might be a problem. He may need to, definitely needs to go in again for hards. There's a yellow flag at the final corner. I think it's PFL Solberg. Communist on the back of Chungus through turn 1. Just has that dirty air effect. Can't carry much speed. but commits down the inside at Village. There was contact. He barges him out of the way slightly. This invites Chungus back up the inside. In turn, well, oh my god, I've lost count. 4. Communist again on Chungus. Chungus defends. They're only separated by a 10th there. Borderline. Could be a cutback potentially, but no. Chungus parks it well on the apex. But look at this from Communist. This could be sensational if he aims that perfectly up the inside into Lovefield or onto Woodcut. Got the move done. Matty on Callum making progress. That was into Maggot. And still Chungus and Communist side by side here. Communist has to back out, but there's always an opportunity. Except there isn't. Is he struggling maybe with damage? It doesn't look like it, but didn't really have a feel for the car through there. And Tax has joined the train. Florian Foley, wow. Stopped a bit early for his liking, but we've got a train for 5th. LMG leads at the start of lap 6 ahead of Jack and Expelo, and then Gogglesaw, big gap behind, then Matty, big gap behind. But Tax has got a blistering run through there, down the inside of Village. The directional change is not as quick as the F1 cars, so some good reactions there. Unfortunately, couldn't get the move done, but we'll have the DRS in the closer proximity of the slipstream to go again here, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough. But he knows what to be doing the next time round. Aaron Ocon's got a penalty on regular. I mean, well done. Jack closing in on LMG. These two driving almost perfectly right now. Tommy Karate into the pits for softs as he makes his F2 debut. And now this is Jack. Could this be the move for the lead? The slipstream and the DRS coming into play. They're side by side into Stowe. Who gets into the corner ahead? It's going to be Jack. LMG going for the cutback. Uses the inside sausage curbs and manages to keep control of the car. Somehow his teammate goes past him. And I thought, yeah, as soon as he touches that inside curb and starts using the grass, there's little... They're not sausage curbs, are they? Because the sausage curbs are what you see there. But the small raised part of the curb, yeah, that was only going to go one way. And that is LMG with a chance of a victory. The podium opportunity is still there, but it has slowly got away from him. Still on paper faster than his teammate, so he still has an objective in this race, without a doubt. It's quieting down a bit. We're getting the pit stops shortly after lap 10 to make the most of the softs. Pluto's progress is on Utah Elephant. It's going to be an easy pass on the Carlin from the Charouse. Second place man in the championship pitted early for the hard tyres. The undercut process will take time, but the lead gap, pit stop in F1 is a full pit stop from the start to the finish is it's close to 40 seconds. So right now is in a decent position. Matty Mooby with the time penalty. He joins Communist and Aaron Ocon. Back to the interview. Tax on the back of Callum. Got past Florian. Now onto the Brit at his home Grand Prix. He's got to overtake. God, he's committed to that inside apex, and that is where he gains the time because he gets to build up that speed through farm. And wait patiently for the DRS. And they should see him up into P6. Which way will he go? He commits to the outside. Callum fairly cuts off the inside. Side by side into Brooklands. Tax is going to hold it all the way around the outside. But no, he can't. He meets the AstroTurf. But he's got a good run out of Luffield. Be surprised if any move occurs here. But he gains. Lets him know he's there. And that is a good exit from Tax. Callum's been struggling there. And Tax sees himself up into 6th place. Next up, Matty Mumu. Callum is still there. Will he go for the overtake? Oh, Tax cuts him off slightly. There was a small movement into the braking zone. He's half spun around. Gets it going again. It's not catastrophic, but you see there, he just jolts as I assume he takes a game clip. Florian rejoining the battle. Bennett as well. Raptor with the time penalty. Yeah. Running wide at Copstow, etc. doesn't really... It's not a huge gainer. Especially in these cars where they react a bit differently to the curbs on throttle. So, yeah. Just my tip. LMG back in the DRS range of his teammate. They've fallen 3.7 seconds behind Jack now, but remember, Pluto was in front, and that gap has come, well, not really down that much. It stays at around 32.8 seconds. They're lapping about the same by that assumption. And therefore, it could well be close. Luke and Chungus side by side. They were. Chungus, it's a decent slingshot off the corner though, and this should keep Luke at bay. Oof, bit hesitant. And Callum overtaken once more by Tax, and thought that was a hit in the back. Oh no, he's goff again. He's only gone and done it again. LMG 7th, and that's going to be 8th, maybe 9th position for LMG, as that's a second spin in the race. I was just looking at Sam Cole, because did I say Lulu? And that might have been the curse. And Callum's got a... Yeah, that's not fair. If no one else gets a penalty, why does Callum get one? That is, that's surely eligible to be removed. Luke is coming into the pits for softs, as is Communist, and we should see more of the pit stops coming soon. It's now Gogglesaw up to 3rd place. Was P2 in the sprint last time out. That means he's currently 3rd in the championship after the first couple of races. Or should we call him Bottle now? Well, unfortunately, due to, you know, bias reasons, I won't, but keep that in your mind, because from leader, well, from hero to zero would have been better. I don't know what I was trying to say leader with. Callum does have another opportunity. There's a yellow flag, and that might be a Carlin, and that might be Luke. Maybe Communist. I think it is Luke. It wasn't. It was Utah Elephant. But anyway, pit stops. Jack, Explo, Gogglesaw, Matty, Tax, Callum, Bennett, all into the pits. Florian has to stay out. Or chooses to stay out. LMG would have got held. He's got an overtake to make, though. Oh, he goes in deep there. Good braking point, but that was just a comparison. He's getting desperate. Better on the traction, better on the brakes. And surely you favour him to make this move. Everyone then onto softs. Pluto is making his way through the field. Back up to a net P2. But everyone else, remember, on the soft tyres. LMG pushing Florian off slightly. And again, cuts back on the exit of the corner and just says no, denies him. Fastest lap still held by Pluto. He was on those hards quite early. But surely Jack will be able to deny that. Sorry. Explo already gaining. Luckily he's got a 5-second cushion back to Gogglesaw. LMG into the pits, Florian into the pits, PFL Solberg and Chungus expected to follow. Both have done, yep. And positions should shape back up to how they were then. Across the line, Jack is technically going to lead the race. There we go, he is. Ahead of Pluto and Expelo, just a second between these two. We're watching right now as we anticipate a small battle forming. Gogglesaw in 4th, Matty's up to 5th. With Tax back in 6th. Reverse pole as it stands is going to be LMG. Aaron Ocon's got a 3-second time penalty. Expelo takes a brilliant line through there. Visually gets the better exit. Can he make the most of it into Cops? I wouldn't fancy it. Oh, he gets close. Almost gives him a tap of good fortune. Let's hope they can have a clean one. Expelo then DRS enabled. He's going to switch to the outside line early. Get himself on the racing line because he's beaten Pluto to the corner. Nicely done. Well worked. And can he chase 4 seconds to Jack? LMG 4/10 behind Bennett. Jack second the fastest lap. And the early pace in this stint with 3 laps to go. It's a short one. Tommy Karate with a 3-second time penalty on board with LMG. He gets a good exit, commits himself to the racing line, and like his teammate, he's going to make an easy pass of his race. Back up into 7th, still would be a relatively good starting position for the sprint race, but with what he did with the starting position of this race, the feature race, well, you know, will it be worth it? Chungus on the back of PFL Solberg. These two on fresh tyres. They pitted on the same lap. Their battle resumes. Chungus to the outside. He's fully alongside almost. He's going to hold it around the outside. Solberg just, well, at speed, aggressively keeps that line. Oh, that's going to be a tight squeeze into Beckett's. And what a move that is by Chungus. Jack with another fastest lap, which nobody can match. Florian with the time penalty now. It was expected coming to Britain that maybe more people would try to exploit their limits. Oh my days, you say that, Nathan, in the chat. Fastest lap. I say that it can't be matched. Fastest lap. You know, if we speak negatively, maybe something good will come of his race, but seeing as he can't convert pole position into victory today, then yeah, we'll start talking negatively. Some pretty big gaps throughout the field right now. Nothing too exciting, but another consistent race from Goglesaw. We've talked about the 3 up there on the podium places so far. Goglesaw, great effort. Matty bounces back. Got the 1 point last week from the sprint. It's going to take 10 from the feature already as it stands. And then Tax with the penalty won't affect Matty. 6th place, LMG 7th, Bennett in 8th. Only person there that will probably be disappointed is LMG, considering he's spun twice. Bennett currently on reverse pole. Florian in 9th, but will still get points, as will Callum. He's got that 5-second penalty, but it doesn't really matter at the moment. He can still appeal it, but it will only really make a difference if he's 2 seconds behind Florian, because he'll get the 3-second penalty, and then Callum will be able to appeal his and then gain that position. LMG with a time penalty. He's pushing the limits now. On the final lap of this feature race. Does come around quickly, this does, but it's not been a classic, considering we go to the likes of Monza, Baku. That'll be chaos in this season. It's Monza, in fact, the same time next week. And if you think Britain's high speed, well, the fixed setups, of course, will lower the wings a bit, make the car a bit unfamiliar. Should be unpredictable. Well, exactly, it's a good question. How are people getting time penalties, especially as it's quite a close field if in some areas. Yeah, it's I would say they should be ashamed of themselves. That's too harsh, but you know, it's not gaining anything, they're just losing. They're just losing it all. Anyway, the final lap, Jack is heading into the Vale chicane, and it is going to be another victory for Jack, but he can't do it perfectly this time. No fastest lap, but Jack takes 25 points once more from the feature race. He's won all 3 races of the season. 2nd place for Explo, and it's the same podium, different order. With Explo and Pluto swapping positions from last week's feature race. Tax as well got the yellow flag penalty. There should be some appeals. And my opinion is right now that all yellow flag incidents should be appealed. It's not fair. And yeah, Callum drops outside of a point because of that. Remember to get your tickets in if you're racing with F for feature or S for sprint, which is coming right up. Goglesaw 4th. Improvement for 5th last time. Matty improvement from 14th to 5th from last time out as well. LMG starting on pole, gets 6th in the end, but subject to appeals from Tax. That could well be 7th. But Bennett will keep reverse pole no matter the outcome. We can't change the result now, but the points will be awarded as necessary. Jack increases his tally to, well, 48 plus 25, that's 73 points in just 3 races. Driver of the day, Chungus. It was Chungus last time out as well, but I don't quite agree this time. If you want to, you can name your driver of the day right now. Get some opinions in for that. And there's the podium ceremony. Familiar, huh? I've seen this one. It's a classic. It's Jack winning. Pluto third there instead of second for last week, of course. It's an all-Brit podium in Great Britain. We have the sprint race coming next. My driver of the day is Atlantis. Hadn't practiced, in all fairness. The results coming right up, and I will remember to show them in full, just for ease for everyone. Here are the results then. In full. Let's look outside the top 10. Florian Foley 9th, Chungus 10th, Callum provisionally 11th, Solberg from 12th from 18th to 12th from 18th, Super Warman, and then Luke, Communist, Raptor. That was so quick. And there is the famous Silverstone wing once more then, as the F2 garages and their pit crews prepare for what they won't really have to make many pit stops, because you don't have to make a pit stop in the sprint. Straight to the end on a set of hards, I assume. Softs would be nigh on impossible. Remember back to the HLFR F2 days when maybe our lane got a puncture at Silverstone. It was quite funny. Another formation lap ahead of 11 laps on hards. They were doing that as a stint pretty much in the feature, so be interesting to see how the tyre management comes into play. Where's Communist come from? Just leading his teammate around. Oh, there's a spin. It is LMG on the formation lap. He's seen it all these last couple of races. And he really has in terms of spins. Lane spun. Well, Lewis spun, but, you know. Communist is on a mission. He thinks it's lap 1, not lap 0. But sure. Running wide. Everyone's running wide. Are we racing on the formation up? I don't think people get the memo. Oh my god. He's making his way back through the field, and there he is, back into his native third position. Oh my days. Sorry about that. Probably not suitable to be on Twitch, is it? Ooh, that's a different angle. Oh my days. Right. Communists arrived to the grid about 5 minutes ago, but There is Bennett pulling into pole position for the sprint race, earned through the 8th place reverse rule. 8 points paying positions on offer, 2 more for fastest lap of course. Who wins this one then, as the lights are about to come on here for the sprint race? Atlantis is just gone. Yeah, if you hadn't have guessed, he's not in the session. But here we go then. 5 red lights are on. And underway for the sprint race. They were held for a very long time by the looks of things. But Bennett gets away well. Tax does as well. He has to defend though into turn 1. There's what we see. It's Bennett running slightly wide. All relatively clean until there's a yellow flag. And Utah Elephant kicked off the track already. Bennett and LMG, they're on as a safety car. The race is already neutralised, and this is where the penalties come out. It's such a terrible section of the track, because especially in the game, because as a safety car comes out, everyone's still battling. Usually in real life, oh, it was Communist that was off, not Utah Elephant. But yeah, there's the retirement, and that is why we've got the safety car that will meet them on the next lap. LMG just got ahead of Tax before that safety car and gets itself into a good position once more. Well then, we do now have to watch Mercedes going around for a few laps in the lead, you know. That's what we wanted a break from with F2. The lack of Mercedes up front, and that was certainly the case in real life, hence why I said it. Brilliant season, and that is Bennett who stops. And given the lead to LMG, almost gives up a position to Tax. Bennett goes back into the lead. There might be some illegal overtake saga. Utah Elephant now has retired. Well, that was weird. He might have forgotten about the Delta or something. Because I know they have the Delta for the rest of the lap, and then once, of course, they start catching up to the safety car, they get rid of it. Might have been related, but as it stands, ignoring Atlantis, who definitely doesn't have a 10-second lead, at the end of lap 1, it's Bennett ahead of LMG, then Taps 3rd, Gogsaw 4th, and then Pluto 5th place, Explo 6th, Matty 7th, Florian Folly in 8th. Jack had a poor start, he's down to 9th, and Callum, Chungus, Solberg, Warman, Luke, Tommy, Raptor, and Aaron Ocon making reserve appearance. Aaron Ocon, Raptors returned, of course, as well. Tommy, first start. Luke, first start in F2 as well. Some action at the back of the field, and I wouldn't necessarily call it positive action. There was an overtake. It's not what you want under the safety car. PFL Solberg has clearly bought his Wi-Fi from, I don't know, the garden centre. I don't know what they call them in Poland, but oh, he's on a mission. He's, yeah, this is causing trouble, and certainly some confusion back here. There's the dams. Driver. Yeah, he did. Oh, excuse me. He does have a red X, but it might kick him out in a second. Raptors pit for softs, which won't make it. I guess they're just to match his car. The beautiful Ferrari Callum Ilott colours of last season won't be a presence on the grid in 2021. F2, nope. F1, nope. Yeah, it's a bit of a dent for Callum Ilott, but Raptor likes the guy and he's gone on to matching tyres. Bennett will be leading us, but technically it's Atlantis' AI because the AI will be controlling the field, which should bring it a little bit closer without the human intelligence behind that. Well, this could be interesting. Should get the call from race director soon, and we are in this lap. We'll be racing again at the start of lap 4. We'll have 8 laps to go. The cold white-walled rubber deposits itself into the ground as drivers get their tyres warm again, ready to go. It's caught people out back in Bahrain, here today. And here we go then. Gotta wait for it to go green, otherwise Bennett will be in big trouble overtaking Atlantis. He's overtaken him, still under yellows. This could be problematic, but he might get away with it if he can appeal a potential penalty. We're underway then, tapped close to LMG into turn 1. We know he's been good in this section of track. X-Blow on Atlantis' car as he tumbles down the order. Yep, everyone's getting yellow flags for what's happened. I say everyone. Bennett, LMG, Tax and Gogglesaw victims. Pluto a victim as well. And in my opinion, that should just be automatic removal. X-Below as well, penalty. Matty penalty, ignoring yellows. Should not be a difficult outcome to figure out if they just keep it clean with the rest of their penalties. But X-Below finished second last time out. Looking to make moves. This is a move from his teammate LMG at Woodcut. Overtakes Bennett, into the lead of the race he goes. What can he do from here, of course, because in the feature race it certainly did not go well. We're on board with Tax. Excuse the engine glitch. He's got a nice run through Maggots. Sense the opportunity in Beckett's. But we'll have to wait for the exit of Chapel. Both get similar exits. Tax in the slipstream. He's got a good run. Will he go to the outside? Yes, he will. It's going to be neck and neck between the Campos and the Charoux. No opportunity around the outside there. Jack back up to 8th. That's a points paying position. It's exactly what he needs. Florian won't fight it too hard, but look at this battle. Pluto on Tax now as well, as this kind of came from nothing. They're side by side into the final corner. Avoided the Alex Albon and Kevin Magnussen crash. And through they go. 4 cars separated by under a second here. It stretches back a long way as well. This is Jack or Matty looking to make a move. But Matty goes in deep. He uses that outside curb. Car doesn't respond well to that. And therefore, Jack makes the move. But in all fairness, he might have just let him through there. X-Below on Gogglesaw gets a good run. Takes the tighter line on the run to Cops. He's going to back out slightly. Saw him back off the throttle. Tax on Bennett. Bennett, who started from pole, might now see the bottom step of the podium as his current position. But no, it's good defending from the Brit. Covers the inside. But Tax is invited to take a double switchback. And that is textbook. If he gets the power down nicely inside into club, but has to back out. He would have understeered into it. But here comes Pluto getting the run. Side by side into Abbey. Doesn't push him off there. That was all fair and square. Gogglesaw coming through as well. He's down the inside of Tax. He was as high as second for one moment. And now he's fighting Gogglesaw for fourth place. Small contact again. Gogglesaw holds the outside. He's squeezed off the track as well. Goggles trying to force him and Tax back on the track. Pluto as well. It's 2x2 into Brooklands. LMG getting away here. Bennett slowed down slightly by his teammate. Now Jack up the inside looking for fifth place. He gets a brilliant exit. Now he's boxed in by Gogglesaw. That might have been deliberate. He's still boxed in and won't be able to make a move here. This is brilliant racing in the sprint. X-Blow side by side with Jack. Tax side by side with Gogglesaw. It's still 2x2. Major concertina effect. Tax kicking up a little bit of dirt there. He's side by side with Jack still. And is forced into conceding that place. Still a huge DRS train. And whoever doesn't have it, this must be scary. Jack can't get past Gogglesaw. Nothing really happening behind at the moment either. This train stretches back to Warman almost. They're all in the DRS range up until Tommy. From second place, there's Chungus around. That is big Chungus around. He gets going again. There's a battle here as well for 14th place with Luke, Aaron Ocon and Raptor involved. Aaron Ocon gets a good run off the final corner, but here comes Jack up the inside of Village. Good overspeed, and that one is settled because he has the inside line as well. Chungus has gone off at turn 2. Now, will this cause anything? I think he might be able to have a second safety car. Hello. Wow. And no safety car we had in the sprint last week, I do believe. It might have been the feature if we did. That might have been a virtual. But they've gifted us two cars in an exclusive car park at turn 1 and turn 2. Has caused the safety cars, and LMG's 4-second lead is going to be cut to 0. Jack's up to 4th, the podium place still on offer. Technically, he's the net leader if these penalties weren't able to be appealed, but yeah, due to the sheer amount of them, it's only fair if all of them get removed, because there's no way that's a 5-second time penalty for an AI car, being a bit inconveniently slow and potentially dangerous in my opinion. So teammates Wildman and Callum were trading positions momentarily. Safety cars picked up the leader. Everyone else will hop on board the train. Raptors into the pits again, but he's had to go for hards. Interesting. I doubt we'll be in on this lap, but certainly lap 9's a possibility with a 2-lap sprint. All to play for, of course. The penalties really mean nothing. And, yeah, I hope my assumptions are correct for what the verdict will be, because, I mean, yeah, why else? Almost everyone caught up to the back of the field now, and PFL Solberg actually did disconnect, and I might have accidentally maybe ignored a call for an invite. I'm not sure. I haven't been on Discord. I'm no longer looking at the chat. Either. I will get him back in though, just in case. As it is with the sprint race, everyone will be remained on the same compound of tyres as they started with. You are allowed to pit, but under these circumstances, it's not viable at all. And the safety car is in this lap. I mean, I'm basically speaking to myself right now, but you know, we'll watch this unfold. Hopefully less of the penalty calamities we had at the start of the first safety car restart on lap 4. Here we go then. LMG picks up the pace. The safety car's in. It's crossed the line there in the pit lane. And we are green at the start-finish line. There we go. Green flags. Pluto has got a good run and is already a 1/10.5 behind LMG. Got good tyre warm-up. Raptor does get a yellow, 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags, but eyes on this man now, Pluto. As with Jack, who's already up to 3rd and immediately back into the fight for the lead. He's cleared Bennett immediately. Tier 1 champion on Tier 3 champion, of course, reigning into this season. Bennett will look to defend it in tier 2, of course. He's given him a good fight. All this contact there, front left and rear right. Oh, and there's contact there from behind. That might have been a touch from Gogglesaw, combined with Jack there, as he was just sandwiched between them vertically. And yeah, it hasn't ended well. He's down to 5th and under pressure from 6th and 7th as well. Bennett gets a poor exit, but out of the 3 cars we're watching here, X-Below probably got the better. He's slipstreaming Tax. He'll back off slightly because these two are already going wheel to wheel. There's a spin there in the background, and that is for Raptor. Oh, Bennett runs a little bit deep. Tax has cut back. X below. Will he try and follow either of them through? And Matty's arrived on the outside. Florian Folly as well, battling with Super Warman. Fastest lap for LMG as we start the final lap. He's looking to take 17 points from this race and 21 overall. Tax on Bennett then for the final time going into Brooklands this race. No DRS, of course, just pure racing. No fuel mixes, no ERS. None of the complicated stuff you get in the F1 cars. Just pure single-seater fun. You love to see it, really. Bennett holds Tax behind. X-Blow still there in as well, ready to pout. As is Matty. Tax still being patient here. Bennett kicks up some grass. Tax with a good exit. LMG's pulled him 1.1 seconds away from Pluto, which means he may have this in the bag. Remember, he spun at the chicane towards the end of the feature. Tax gets a really good exit, and this should be his position in the bag. As he pulls out of the slipstream, the top speed is almost identical. On board with X-Blow as things unfold. Tax runs wide. Bennett runs slightly wide. And this is X-Blow getting a brilliant run. Will he go for 2 cars? Oh, a gap didn't really open up. LMG is going to come around the final corner to win at Silverstone. And once again, it's an all-British podium. You can basically ignore those results with Jack winning, because for sure those penalties are going to be appealed. It is Bennett ahead of X-Blow, ahead of Tax, but only slightly. Oh, that was quite dramatic ending for the three of them as LMG crossed the line to finish the race. Yeah, I think there'll be quite a few penalties to sort out. But hopefully there's a decent outcome to this race. Because the results are a bit wrong at the minute. People that didn't get the 5-second time penalties are promoted quite a lot of places, but they weren't deserved. But great effort once again, producing some clean racing for everyone. 20 drivers, improvement from last week. Got the full 20 that we could have in. It says Jack wins, but you do your best to ignore that. Tommy Karate with the apparent driver of the day. Okay. The thing is as well, with what you see with the weekend standings, they aren't entirely accurate, but Jack still leads the championship. Pluto's double podium means he stays in second. But a win for LMG gets him off the mark. It's a bit awkward, isn't it, when they aren't actually there? But there's a celebration again, no matter what. It will be, I should say, another double British podium. We're good at this F2 stuff. Anyway, we'll have a scan through the sprint race results, but they really aren't accurate. Oh, what's the point? This game hates me. Alright, well, that is where I'm going to leave the 65 minutes of action. It's been good once more. A shame a lot of people happened to just leave the stream. I think we're down to 1 viewer when the racing was actually interesting. So, hopefully that improves. But other than that, thank you for interacting. Thank you for watching. This race is also available on the YouTube, as is round 1, and the rest of the season's actions. Remember, we've got Tier 4 on Friday, Tier 3, then Tier 2, Saturday evening, and then Tier 1 on Sunday, where I'll be back with Feta Cheese alongside me, the Tier 2 coordinator, the F2 coordinator, I should say. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a brilliant rest of your day, and goodbye.